Hey everyone, welcome to the first ever match of the Super Mario Maker 2 multiplayer versus GSA League. My name is Tokapa, and I'm going to be commentating on this match and the next 2 or 3 today. So, looking forward to that. We got two really good competitors here, lots of experience in versus between both of them, both S+ players. And lots of experience in tournaments as well. So really looking forward to seeing this one. Players. Hopefully be ready in just a sec. Indeed, both players are pink S+. I forgot to mention that. Meaning they have 6,000 rank points in versus. That is definitely definitely some of the best players we have available in versus. So really worked hard to get there. You know, it's not easy. I myself merely an S rank, about in the middle of the road S rank. So hopefully I can still provide an interesting commentary for us. So. And in case you're not familiar with the format for this league, it is so there's 12 players total in the league. It's going to be a standard round robin, just like the other GSA leagues. And it looks like we are about ready to get started with this match. It is going to be 13 total games. It's not a best of, so they will play all 13 games no matter what. And it looks like we're going to have our first level. SMW stage. Been seeing a lot of SMW in versus lately. Oh gosh, immediately Enviosity taking a death, getting basically dunked by Doomsday. And looks like a pretty straightforward level so far. Got a cape. That's always interesting in versus because well, I was gonna say that, but Doomsday immediately losing the cape. And Envy taking a death right behind. So oh, and a classic versus. We got a bit of a boss fight here. This is going to allow Envy the chance to catch up. And although Doomsday does know that you can force the Bowser Jr. out of his cycle if you get him into the wall. And now we got Boom Boom. A little bit easier than the Bowser Jr. And Flying Bowser Jr. I shouldn't say flying, I should say Clown Car Bowser Jr. Can be a little bit difficult to deal with, but Doomsday dealing with that pretty easily, so. Now Envy, well, I was going to say Envy looked like they were trying to cheese it with the cape, but Doomsday just gets right onto the goal, takes game 1, and we are off and running, so well played to Doomsday. Envy, you know, maybe thinking that Doomsday was too far ahead, trying to take a little risk there, but just didn't work out that time, so. But we are probably going to be seeing a lot of that. One thing that high rank players know is they know when to try and go for cheese. So it's going to be interesting to see if they manage to get it at all during this tournament. So I don't think Easy Kaizo normally are supposed to go together. That sounds like a little bit of an oxymoron. But we'll see how easy and or Kaizo this level actually is. Looks like Envy off to a slight lead at the start. So far it doesn't seem very Kaizo. It's just a little bit of wall jumping. Although this next part looks like might be a little bit more difficult. Oh wow, that's tricky to navigate with between those spikes, especially with the spike hitboxes the way they are in this game. And Doomsday. I don't think that's gonna work out. You gotta time that. You gotta time that jump really carefully to get out. Besides, just go back up and get the platform. Oh, but unfortunately, not able to make that time. So Envy back in the lead, coming up on the spike section again, and makes it through. Well played. And that was the end. Well, I don't know if I would exactly call that Kaizo, but it got a little bit tricky at the end. So, all right, tied up in this set, 1-1. Another SMW stage. Looks pretty straightforward at the start, you know, just some blocks, Galoombas, you know, nothing too there. Unfortunately, Doomsday, just not sure what they were going for, and it looks like we got a Kaizo block, so I think Kaizo is more appropriate for this level than the last one. But that is going to be interesting to see how this level. That is definitely a trap. Doomsday knows that's a trap. He knows not to fall down there. Very well played. And now basically allows Envy to catch up. Oh, but Envy... Oh, no, the falling platforms. Envy just tried to get there, wasn't able to get there. And now Doomsday having the checkpoint. Gonna have a little bit easier time of this. Unfortunately, Envy's still having some trouble with this start section. Those Cheap Chiefs can be a bit of a pain. I believe that said OK Boomer. I believe that's what it said. So... Oh, and it looks like, okay, a key in there, and second checkpoint. Enviosity finally getting to this first checkpoint, so Doomsday still with a substantial lead. Lots of enemies in this level. Oh, wow. Really well played there by Doomsday, managing to avoid that fire. And looks like we're coming up on the end, and that is it. That is the end. Doomsday takes game 3. Even Doomsday seems surprised by that, so... Well played, though. Looks like we got a clear condition in this level. Clear conditions are always interesting in versus because of the way players can strategize around that. And so it's going to be interesting to see where these coins are and how the players deal with that. And Envy just getting straight eaten by the Porky Puffer. So there's one coin. The catsuit for Doomsday. Of course, the clear conditions in versus are shared between players. So it doesn't matter who actually gets it. It only matters who gets the last one. And they both found the end, and Doomsday just decided to start over. Let's see what Enviosity does here. Because they can't get back, so they're going to either have to start over or wait for Doomsday to find those other coins. There's a one-way warp block. Like maybe Doomsday realizing that there's one at the start, so that's 2. Oh, I didn't even see this. There's only now 15 seconds left on the level timer, so Doomsday gonna have to find this last one pretty quickly in order to end up with the win here. And it looks like might not have enough time for this one. So, and Doomsday realizing, yeah, out of time. Just let's move on. Of course, that one, if they do end up timing out or both decide to give up, then it is not going to count. So we will play to 13 wins between both players. So stalemates are not going to count here. And so once again, we're going to try and get game 4. So. Alright, enemy getting in the pipe first, and we got some vertical climbing going on. Doomsday opting to just take the vine. Enviosity looking for the power-up. So, Doomsday technically in the lead, but could lose that very quickly if they find a source of damage. And Envy actually loses their power-up, so... Oh, and they both get bonked into the piranha plant. Oh. I don't think that was intentional by the player, but definitely an interesting moment. This time Doomsday getting the power up, Envy deciding to forego it and trying to play that. Unfortunately, Envy takes damage from these piranhas, is gonna die. Doomsday also taking damage, but having the power up, able to get through that. So now Doomsday actually having a pretty big lead and able to take the rest of the section much safer for a while at least. So the power up finds the checkpoint. So. And it looks like we got more vertical climbing on vines. Interesting setup, I will say. I guess it looks like it's not straight climbing. You see those one-ways actually preventing a direct climb, so actually having to play this pretty carefully is Doomsday, but they can afford to do that. They have pretty big lead at this point still. Finds a second checkpoint, get that power up, and oh boy, it's a boss fight. You know what it is. See it all the time in Versus. This is going to give Envy the chance to catch up, at least a little bit. But Doomsday making pretty quick work at that boss and getting to the end, and that is going to be it. Doomsday taking a third win, and now having a 2-game lead. But it is far from over. We've still got several games left to play in this set. So. And of course, in this situation, every game counts. You know, in this sort of round robin. You want to play your all for every game. You don't want to be dropping games for no reason. So Doomsday looking pretty pleased with himself. It looks checkpoint visible from the start. That almost never seems like a good sign. I wasn't able to read what that said, but fortunately, both players taking pretty quick deaths in that first section. So, and this is gonna drop them into the pipe this time. So, another checkpoint. Oh, that's not exactly sure what's going on here. Okay, but it's sort of in a pipe cycle right now with these checkpoints. Alright, Doomsday gets back out of the lead. This time they got P-Box to jump on, but gotta be careful with the timing there. And oh, Envy almost making it forward. That is a tough gap to get through, it looks like. So Doomsday trying to pick up some speed to get through that section. And oh, not even able to make it to that. So Enviosity deciding to go back? Let's see. Difficult. Interesting. At least that's what it looked like to me. Doomsday having another crack at this section, and not sure if they're waiting for the on-off blocks to switch or something. So. Oh, ends up dunking Envy into the lava, but then just goes off and jumps right into a muncher himself, so... Not exactly sure what Doomsday's going for here. Envy making it back to this section, and gonna go for it at least. Oh, not able to thread the needle, unfortunately. That is just a really tough gap. You have to be especially careful with the munchers here, because muncher hitboxes in Super Mario Maker 2 are very misleading. So I think that's definitely why our player is having a bit of trouble with that section. They know they have to be really careful around those munchers. And if he makes it through that time, let's see what the rest of the level has in store. Oh, there's a pipe. And another P-switch. That's it. So, and that's the end of the level. So Envy makes it to the goal. I'm not sure what Doomsday was going for there. Like they were trying to figure something out, but in the end, Envy makes it and then gets back within one game of Doomsday in the set. So. Yeah, looks like we got another clear condition. Now these types of clear conditions, when it's with its power-ups, they're not shared. Each player has their own, so both of our players are going to have to try and make it through with a power-up, and both managing to avoid that cheap sheep wall at the start. So Envy now with a slight lead, but this looks like a pretty precarious level, and unfortunately Envy not able to dodge the bloopers. And Doomsday bonking into the question mark block, and Doomsday taking a little bit of advantage of the iframes at the start there, but didn't really need it because they didn't even touch anything. Envy having a little bit of trouble getting past the cheap sheep wall, and unfortunately those bloopers just come at you. Nothing you can do about that in that situation. Doomsday was unfortunately trapped. Oh, and it looks like there's some hidden blocks there that are messing things up. Enviosity gets the fire flower, so now Enviosity in a big lead. Another thing about the super mushroom power clear condition is that it has to be the super mushroom. You can't go in there with a fire flower or a prowler mushroom. It looks like Envy's getting close to the end, and Envy ties up the series at 3. Really well done there by Envy to dodge all that stuff at the end. Yeah, indeed, sometimes, you know, in Expert, you do get levels that are just like that, where it's just a bunch of enemies, and you just gotta pray that you can get through somehow. Oh, looks like we got a bit of a speedrun level here. So the player's probably only going to have one chance to get it. Enviosity gets off to the lead. Doomsday takes a death, and now it's going to be basically Envy's chance to win it right here. Gets a key from that pink coin. Let's make it through this section. And there's more. And yeah, pretty classic new Super speedrun so far. Lots of piranha plants and springs and all that nonsense. Oh, and unfortunately Envy finds a hit block, and that is going to be it for this level. Definitely not enough time to complete it. And Doomsday just chilling. So unfortunately another timeout, but that is it's not something that's uncommon in Expert. You get a lot of stages like that where it's short speedruns that you really almost can't complete in versus most of the time. You really pretty much have to one-shot it, or you're just not going to get it. So. Looks like we got a pretty straightforward jungle stage. I should say forest stage so far. Nothing too out of the ordinary so far. Nope. Doomsday opts to get a power up at the bottom, but it's not. And that was actually bait. Not going to be able to get back there. And Doomsday throws his hands up in frustration, and now Envy going to have the chance to take the level. Looks like we got a few different subsections here. Envy finds the checkpoint, and now it's going to be another boss fight. Did get that checkpoint though, so going to get sent right back there immediately. Going to try and take advantage of those iframes and try and get Bowser Jr. in this corner. Unfortunately, he doesn't want to come out of his shell when he's at the fire bar, so he's eventually going to get the key, and Doomsday having a little bit of trouble. Looks like one more section to go for Envy. And it's going to be another boss fight. This one's a boom boom. It's a lot simpler, a lot easier for our players. And actually, Envy realizing that he doesn't even need to do the boss. Just get up to the pipe right there. So Envy now in the lead for the first time in this set. 1 game lead over Enviosity. So well done. So this has been a back and forth set so far. Really, really good start for our first match in this Versus League. So I hope that they're all like this, but they probably won't be. So. Oh, it looks like we got a classic 4-lane versus level, and for those of you who haven't seen one of these before, what it means is that each of the 4 lanes is going to be hopefully identical, and it's essentially just going to be a race between the players. And Doomsday hoping to start over and get into in the same pipe as Enviosity, trying to mess with him a little bit. So Doomsday out now in the lead, but without a power up. And this looks like one where you definitely going to want power up. Doomsday gets dunked into that buzzsaw. So now Envy taking it really carefully to get up there. He's gonna find another power up and move on to the next section. Looks like maybe we've got a boss fight coming up. Got some on-off blocks first. On-off blocks always fun in versus. And that looks like that's gonna be the end. So Envy taking the next game and extending his lead to 2. Well played by Envy. Doomsday taking a bit of a risk not getting the power up there, and unfortunately just got dropped onto the buzzsaw. It is an interesting interaction between moving platforms and ceilings. If you hit one, you don't get squished, you just fall through the platform. And unfortunately, that's what happened to Doomsday right there. So. Oh, it looks like we've got a dry bone shell level, so Enviosity gonna have to take this dry bone shell, probably all the way close to the end at least. And Doomsday right behind, and gotta time this jump carefully, and gets onto that next section, and sees the checkpoint and realizes probably gonna be another shell there for me to grab, and oh, not able to time that one correctly, and oh, and now these on-off blocks are, they're both getting hit at the same time, so that's going to screw our players up. Oh, and unfortunately Envy loses the dry bone shell, tries to jump out of it, get on top, but not able to get there. Going to send him back to checkpoint. Still ahead, though, still ahead of Doomsday, just by a bit, though. And now, once again, Envy finally able to get up there and got some springs. Finally the on-off blocks get back in sync, more or less. And we're gonna make their way into the pipe and gets another checkpoint. So interesting way of doing the second checkpoint there. It is going to keep Envy in the lead for the time being, and there's the end. Envy can get there. Gotta be careful about these fire bars, though. Oh, not able to get up that time. Oh, well played. Just getting in that little gap there, and that's going to be the end. Envy taking another game. I think that's 4 straight for Enviosity. Enviosity now 1 game away from winning the series, or taking an unassailable lead in the series. Doomsday gonna have to do a lot of work to catch up, but again, this is gonna be a long season. So every game counts. So no matter what, Doomsday is gonna try to win these, and it's gonna be interesting to see how it plays out over the rest of the season. Alright. Well, it looks like just jumping on some rainbow platforms on the ceiling. Unfortunately, Doomsday not making the jump correctly there, and I understand it's not easy at all to tell where you are on this level. And unfortunately, Envy looks like they just jumped into the Muncher. Doomsday taking a death at the same time, so are both players back at the start now. And it looks like Doomsday falls off once again. Oh, and Envy gets chomped. That's unfortunate, because not really much that they can do about that. Doomsday unfortunately diving off once again. And Envy this time taking it a bit slow, understandably. Doesn't want to end up getting hit by those chomps again. And okay, he's still alive. Not quite able to tell. This time taking the unfortunately tried to time the Muncher section, but those Munchers are moving really quickly. Fortunately, Doomsday having a lot of trouble with these jumps, so I'm gonna give Envy the chance to stay ahead for a while at least. And Envy has more information than Doomsday. Doomsday hasn't been able to get as far, so Envy having, as we say, lore on this level. But having some trouble with that Muncher section still. Unfortunately, it looks like Doomsday fell victim to the off-screen effect, and not able to exactly tell where they were. Finally, Envy makes it over the Munchers. Now has to deal with these this Hammer Bro. Well, can't even really see where they are on the screen. Oh, and that's the end. If Envy can get there. Envy trying to take this as cautiously as possible. Oh, I'm not no, it shouldn't be. Oh, I see what's going on. Gotta wait for that bomb to blow up that block to get forward, because that block is preventing them from moving forward. And finally, Envy makes it through, taking 7th win, and that is going to secure Enviosity series. But of course, we are going to play all 13 games, so we still got 3 games left to play, but Enviosity going to take this series today. Okay, so Envy realizing he can't get through that way. So this looks like maybe a bit of a maze type level players. And now Envy just trying to figure out which way is the right way to go. And that's going to allow Doomsday to get slightly ahead, but our players basically neck and neck point. Anyone's game for the taking. Oh, we gotta be careful about that Muncher. Oh, got a bit of a battle going on. Both players trying to dunk each other. And that's going to allow Envy to get over. Doomsday just getting slowed down by that swamp. Envy now in the lead again, finds a checkpoint. Oh, and unfortunately Doomsday took a death right before the checkpoint. That's unfortunate. So Envy now with a huge lead in this level. And is going to take the win. So Envy, really impressive show by Enviosity. I believe that's 6 straight now for Enviosity. So, although I could be wrong about that, it's hard to remember. But just further extending that lead, and Doomsday got to be feeling frustrated, and understandably so. He's definitely had a chance in this level, but just some crucial mistakes have allowed Enviosity to extend this lead. You might be right about that, John. Like I said, I don't have the list on the screen, so I'm just going off of memory, and my memory is not that great. So looks like we got some possible dev blocks here. Neither player opting to go for check out those blocks though. And Enviosity is going to get dunked by Doomsday into the void. And now Doomsday trying to figure out what's going on in this level. You know, you look at that arrow. I guess Doomsday didn't trust that arrow, and it's actually going to allow Enviosity to get ahead, and Enviosity gets the checkpoint again. Doomsday with interesting decisions, second guessing himself. You know. Oh, Enviosity jumps off, but still with that checkpoint, he's going to be in the lead. Can I have at least another shot at getting through this section? Oh, it looks like needs to land on that platform. I'm guessing there's probably going to be a propeller stream. Now Doomsday's actually in the lead, getting that checkpoint, but doesn't know the lore and ends up jumping right off. So Enviosity now with the lore. Yep, there's a propeller stream. That's going to allow Enviosity to get ahead and win unless they make a massive mistake. Nope, that's going to be it. Enviosity taking another one. Wow. What a huge plays by Enviosity in this set. So I think Doomsday may be feeling a little bit of the tilt. So, you know, sometimes you just got to go with your gut. You know, you got to make the YOLO jump. Sometimes you have to take risks to win in versus. You know, a lot of times a lot of times you end up overthinking it. But that's why the number one rule in versus: always go right. That is rule number 1. And it looks like we got a bit of a wave surfing bubble, as they call them. Oh boy, I'm just getting bumped into that swamp. Oh wow! Oh jeez, Doomsday. Oh, Doomsday. Man, I'm sorry, that's Envy. I'm getting confused with who's ahead. Somehow both players managing to survive all that. That was really impressive. It looks like possibly, and it looks like, yeah, they are going to need to collect those points in order to get a key. And like some clear conditions, pink points in versus are shared. It doesn't matter who gets them all. It only matters who gets the last one. So players now having to collect. Doomsday just deciding to wait to let Envy get the key, and Doomsday just playing defense. Oh, Envy not able to get that last pink point, and now Doomsday goes into the door and try and get it, and now it's Enviosity playing defense. It's like that one looks to be a bit. That last pink coin looks to be a bit tricky. You gotta really manage this wave correctly, and I tell you, having played a few of these in my time, it can be very confusing sometimes. Doomsday does manage to get it, and manages to get in the door, and that's going to be it. Doomsday finally taking another win, managing to salvage at least a little piece of it. But that is going to be it for this series. That's 13 games. Enviosity winning this one, making a little bit of a statement here, saying that came here to play and showing off with that 9-4 victory over Doomsday. So really well played by Enviosity. It looks like we're gonna have Doomsday in the call, I believe, and Enviosity.
Yep, I'm here.
Hello.
Hello. Well played, both players.
Thank you.
Really well done. Enviosity, how many wins was that straight for you in that one?
I don't know.
I
went on a big losing streak at the beginning.
It was 8. I was
7 or
counting.
8. Yeah, Doomsday. Okay, Doomsday was counting. Yeah. But that, I mean, it started out close, but Enviosity really played well in those middle ones. How do you feel about this victory, Enviosity?
I'm a little sad I didn't get the cheese on stage 1.
Didn't get
the cape.
on stage 1. Yeah, you could have won by.
Oh,
you could have
so
won by
close.
1 more. So, yeah. Doomsday, what was your thought when it was getting worse and worse? You know, I saw you making. It seemed like you were second guessing yourself. How did you handle being behind by so much?
I was just like, well, at least I got more than 1 win.
At least I got more than 1 win. That's a great outlook. Of course, it is. You know, this is just the first match of the season, so
yeah. Doomsday is a talented player, actually.
I never said he wasn't.
This is the first time I actually played Versus for Expert, because normally Versus for multiplayer is just like easy stages, you know? So all the stuff I played today I wasn't really expecting, which is why I died a lot.
Yeah.
And
Understandable.
I'm more used to the Endless Expert where you don't run at full speed the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
So like, if you see something that's a threat, you actually stop to see, okay, how do I get past this without dying? You don't have that leeway in multiplayer Versus, and I don't have the reaction time to actually guess correctly enough. So you died a lot, Envy. I died even more, which is why you won.
Mm-hmm.
Took more risks, I'd say. I played super risky with like a lot of the plays I made.
Yeah, that's something I mentioned. Sometimes in Versus you have to play risky in order to take those wins.
Definitely.
And, this time it definitely paid off. So
for sure.
Yeah, once again, congratulations to Enviosity and well played to Doomsday.
Thank you.
Still got a long season ahead of us, so really enjoyed this one. And
thank you guys for having us.
Yeah, I hope the rest of them are going to be just as good.
See you next time.
Thank you.